All right.
Happy Thursday. Hope you all doing pretty good today. My name's Ben Sensenbaugh,
And what's your role at the company, Ben Sensenbaugh?
President.
I'm Jason, Business Development Manager. Welcome to our fifth installment of the weekly webinar series, which moving forward will likely be moved to bi-weekly. Just not enough new information coming out to warrant a weekly basis.
We're also going to use some new content and have some other people involved with us to kind of show you what else is going on besides this, the COVID-19.
All right. As we've done the last couple of weeks, we've kind of given you a brief recap of some of the important things we talked about in the previous couple of weeks. So Ben, if you could touch on the covered and non-covered per the CARES Act.
Yeah, we're still getting a lot of questions on the what's a covered property and what's a non-covered property. So under the CARES Act, a covered property is a home with traditional financing, and that is under the CARES Act. And under that act, does not allow any evictions or late fees to be processed until July 27th. On July 27th, you are able to give a 30-day notice, not a 3-day notice like we typically would do here in Florida. And then so that will take us to July or August 26th. And at that point, then we can start processing evictions along with everyone else. So that's what we call a covered property, traditional financing. A non-traditional home is something that's owned in cash or possibly some other kind of hard money or a commercial loan of some kind that's a HUD-backed loan. This one, as of last Friday, Governor DeSantis pushed it to June 2nd. So on June 2nd is when we're able to charge late fees and also start the eviction process. Writ of possessions and the whole thing's been opened as long as the sheriff will find time to give the writ of possession. We got to get there first. So we do have a few of these homes that owners have let us know, and we've got them all signed up so that when June 2nd comes around, we can start moving forward with these couple of these tenants. It's very important, though, if you do have one, to reach out to us, and we'll get that set up. Which is going to roll in. Probably your next question is how many? What's maybe the Maids collection rate? We're down to 2.8% that have not paid here in May. So we still have 60 that are late out of 1,050 actually occupied homes. 2.8% have not paid, and we have 18 payment plans. Most tenants this has fallen dramatically since last week. I think we had
95 late,
yeah,
and 48 payment plans.
So we're still collecting money every day. We've collected 6 payments just today. So we're still moving forward. We're ahead of where we were in April, so it is an upturn that we're noticing. But you know, there are those homes. There's 28 listed there that we're having troubles with in the full month's payment. Some of those are on a payment plan, by the way. I think there's 8 that have agreed to it, but so that would leave 20. So if you are one of those 20, we've had two owners who have successfully, it's called Cash for Keys. It's a program we've come up with to negotiate with our tenants who are non-paying, non-responsive, or just pretty much refuse. And they're on a covered property, so meaning they can't be evicted until end of August. So what we're doing is we're negotiating with that tenant, let them keep their security deposit, give them a couple free days of rent, and pretty much show up, get the keys, and give them their security deposit and have them go on their way. You know, it's not ideal, but you can calculate how much money you're going to lose in rental income through who knows when we can get the eviction actually through versus, you know, getting them out now and just accepting the loss that's happened and any damages to the property. So,
right. And with that 30-day notice in August, you still got to take into account that there's high likelihood of a backlog.
Absolutely.
So it may not be August, it might not be September. It could be October, November timeframe. One thing we forgot to mention, if you do have a question that comes up during the webinar, feel free to drop it in the chat there and we'll address it for you. But moving forward, recap on how many properties we leased out in March. It was 36 properties. April was 31, so slight dip. But in May, we've already rented out 40 properties with another 10 days to go. So
And with that, we are definitely in the peak of the leasing season. We only have 2 properties over 14 days. Our inventory is almost everything is rented that's available. And for right now, we're going after record pricing compared to prior months. So leasing is really, really good right now. We do have a lot of properties coming on market end of this month, both new construction, and we have some move outs happening, but we're very prepared for that. But we're looking forward to getting them back on the market, especially when it's so good right now.
And one more recap, April's rent collection was 98.5%, so actually pretty good, all things considered. Moving forward, a lot of people work at the theme parks. When are they planning on reopening?
Yeah, theme parks, the executive order that came out Friday said to submit a plan. So Universal is stating end of month is what they're shooting for, but it's not official yet. So we're probably going to get an update on that. Disney and SeaWorld will be right behind that. They have opened up their shopping areas to limited capacity. Both Universal City Walk and Disney Springs is now open.
Mm-hmm. And Disney is talking about when they do reopen it, likely only at 20 to 30% capacity. All right, so Florida coronavirus statistics. Right now in Florida, we have 47,000 confirmed cases and 2,096 deaths. Orange County specifically, where we're located here in Orlando, 1,708 cases and 38 deaths. United States is up to 1.5 million cases, 93,000 deaths, and that's it. Here's a question here. Are investors still hiring property managers right now? Ben?
Yeah, we're having, it's following that leasing season. So a lot of confidence has come kind of racing back this month compared to the previous 2. So we are definitely moving forward.
All right. Where is Florida at with unemployment claims? So far, there have been 2.4 million that have filed for unemployment. $2.6 billion has been paid out in unemployment benefits. And nationally, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported a 14.7% unemployment rate in April. 3 million new unemployment claims nationwide and 38 million since March. This is not a question, but I found it very interesting. There's a Yahoo article today that says there are 54,200 crew members aboard 85 cruise ships still stuck at sea. So the passengers aren't on the ships, but there's 54,000 crew members still stuck aboard.
Wow. And
they've been stuck for more than 60 days.
That's crazy.
Ben, let's talk about phase 2 of reopening.
So phase 2 started on Monday, and that pretty much opened everything back up, except for the theme parks and vacation rentals. So all the bars, the gyms, for the gyms, they said it was busier than it was on January 1st, which is kind of crazy. But all the gyms have opened back up. The bars, the restaurants, beauty salons, all of that is all back to work, so that we should see anybody who was out of work should be coming back fairly quickly. So yeah, like I said, vacation rentals was the only thing still mandatory to be closed, along with theme parks.
All right. Most of those are 50% capacity.
Yeah.
But professional sports can resume here in Florida, so kind of happy about that. I say this because where are the hot spots in Florida? I bring this up because the majority of them are in South Florida. It's not really a concern in Central Florida here. Broward and Miami-Dade have 4.3 cases per 10,000 residents. The sort of hotspot here is near the Villages in Sumter County. It's 3.3 cases per 10,000 residents. But once you get down to Osceola and Orange County, you're looking at 2.3 and 1.8. So Central Florida is not really a hotspot. Things are actually going pretty well here. Ben, any changes with the CARES Act that we haven't discussed?
I think we covered it all. June 2nd for non-covered and July 27th for covered. That's the latest. I don't expect that to really change too much going forward. I think those are pretty solid dates from what I hear.
Mm-hmm. Is there another round of stimulus checks coming? House Speaker Nancy Pelosi proposed a new relief act called the Eros Act. It passed the House on May 15th, worth $3 trillion. Has not passed the Senate yet, and there's a good chance it won't. But it would be $1,200 per person and $6,000 cap per household. How is Florida's real estate market? Got some notes here.
Yeah, I mean, we're from the sales side of things, we're really seeing that starting to pick back up. It definitely had a 60-day lull, but as we mentioned, the rental market and the demand is very, very high and low inventory right now. So it's going right into the peak, like normal, if not a little bit above normal, which is really unexpected from where we were 2 weeks ago. I know we have a lot of new construction up in the villages down in Palm Bay and things like that. We have it's all coming online starting like this end of this month, and July is a real big peak for all of that. If you're interested in any of that new construction, Tommy can definitely help you out there. Tommy at therealtymix.com.
Well, if you have an agent, continue working with your agent. But if you don't, Tommy would be more than happy to work with you. Anything else we should?
No, I think all signs have turned around, which is very surprising and very good for the market.
Yeah. So like we mentioned earlier, we're not going to do this next week. We're going to hold these bi-weekly and find a way to make them a little more interesting for the viewers.
And also we'll have June's numbers, and we got some other ideas on making this a lot more interesting, and also more of a sneak peek back into what's going on behind the scenes here as well, to ensure that your rental property is taken care of in the best way.
All right. So thanks for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day.